For more on the Heat, we bring in our insider, Ethan Skolnick. Ethan, it's been an awful start for the Heat at 2-5. Is it time to panic?
I think it's time to be seriously concerned. I don't know about panic at this point, but this team has not come with the right kind of energy this season. And I think here's one of the problems. We can talk about P.J. Tucker not being there, integrating Tyler Hero to the starting lineup. This team is not talented enough to kind of go halfway. They're just not. And I don't know if they got caught up in themselves because they got close to the finals last year, but we're not seeing the same consistent effort. We're not seeing them be as connected. And I don't really want to hear the excuses. Look, I know they were close to some trades this offseason, or maybe they thought there were going to be some trades, but they just haven't brought it. And that's the thing. And that's why they keep falling behind early in games. You look at what happened against Sacramento. That's just totally inexcusable against a team like that. I don't care if it's the last game of the road trip. So I do think it's time to be seriously concerned. And I know that the front office is starting to get concerned.
Kings hadn't won a game this season before that. But if you were the coach or general manager, what changes would you make?
Well, this is the problem, right? Okay, because everybody wants a quick fix here. And so you say, okay, well, you need a starting power forward perhaps. Caleb Martin hasn't really been the problem, though, okay? So, do you really want to gut the team with future draft picks to go get a starting four when you don't really know the direction that the team is going? Then you can look at the starting lineup. You can say, okay, is the Lowry Hero thing working? But here's the problem with that. Tyler Hero has been better than Kyle Lowry has been.
Let's talk a little bit more about Kyle Lowry. 36 years old. We know he's a veteran. They brought him in for his leadership. But how washed up is he?
Washed up is a strong word, but he's not the player that I think they thought they were going to get. I think that's where we're at this stage. And when you're talking about a player making this kind of money and you can't get by anybody at this stage, okay, then you have issues because then it means that both of their guards need screens all the time. And here's the other thing with Kyle. They brought him in part to be a point of attack defender. He doesn't even guard the point guard on the other team anymore. Caleb Martin does.
Let's mention Victor Oladipo and Omer Yurtseven just because we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
We were hoping that there would be a significant role off the bench for both, but how much of them being out has hurt this team?
Let's start with Vic. They were counting on Vic. I don't care what they may say now because everybody I talked to with the Heat this summer was talking about how good Vic looks. So this is a major setback. Now, I don't know how major a setback is in terms of the actual injury because they're not giving out a lot of information. But the fact that he didn't make the trip, we still don't know if he's going to play this week. It's not great. They need more scoring beyond just Max Strus off the bench. Look, I think Yurt would be playing already, okay, because Dwayne Dedmon was not effective early in the season. I actually think Yurt might have played ahead of Dedmon, even without Dedmon kind of having this injury. So I do think that they miss him a little bit. I don't think he's the only answer, but they need another big. They are too small. They're just too small.
Let's go back to Tyler Hero for a minute because moving him from the sixth man into the starting lineup, you miss that spark of the offense. What other problems or just the adjustments has that move made for this team?
Well, look, Tyler can be a really good catch and shoot player, okay? And so I thought that it would work to a certain degree. It just doesn't look like he and Lowry fit very well together. That's a problem right now. Also, what it's created is they're playing Strus and Robinson together off the bench. I don't know how long you can really go with that. Tyler's going to be a starter. They're not yanking him from the starting lineup. He just needs to be more consistent on the defensive end.
Ethan, a couple huge games this week, starting with the reigning world champion Warriors. What do you expect to see from the Heat in the next few days?
Well, what I expect to see and what I want to see are two different things. I just want to see them fight. That's all. I just want to see them fight. I want to see them compete from the very beginning of the game, particularly against a team like Golden State. They cannot drop these two because obviously if they drop both of these two, I mean, then you're looking at what are we now, 2-7?
Yep.
I mean, that is really problematic here. And look, the schedule doesn't really soften up for a little bit. I just want to see them be cohesive and be competitive. Can they be those two things? Let's start there.
Buckle up, Heat fans. Ethan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.